Hey everybody, welcome to CastorsCorner.com. I'm your host Cleo, here for another toy of the day. You can go to CastorsCorner.com for a full gallery of these figures. You can follow us. We are at Castors Corner on all social media. Check out the Cornercast podcast up on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to this channel. Honestly, we really appreciate all of our new subscriptions. The more of you that subscribe, the more cool things we get to do, and then we get to share them with you, and that's been one of the best parts about doing this past year. So, what do we got for you today? So we're going to start taking a look at our Fantastic Four wave of figures, the classic Fantastic Four figures, and a little story time. So I found these at Walmart. They were on a pallet, waiting to be stocked. There was a display space ready for them in the Eternals box set. That end cap display. I took a picture. It's on our Instagram. It was a couple weeks ago, but it's got the SKU and the barcode and everything for them. And I was thrilled because the box has 6 figures in it. There are 6 figures in the wave. Get the box, get that. Got to the register, they didn't ring. So it took a while. I think about 20 minutes. Finally got a manager. He looked at them, checked them. They were able to be sold, and I got them. I was excited for this wave because it offered some stuff that we don't always get in a lot of different ways, kind of expanding the Marvel Universe. And I think that these two characters, and I saved the boxes because I had some thoughts. Here we go. These kind of ring back to the Fantastic Four cartoon. And the idea that we're getting these characters because they came out in that cartoon wave. So Higher Evolutionary with high advanced intelligence and cybernetic exoskeleton. The Higher Evolutionary challenges the Fantastic Four. I wasn't a big reader of Fantastic Four growing up. Like, it wasn't my thing. I was more of an X-Men guy. Even the Avengers weren't like a big thing for me. But I appreciate expanding the Marvel Universe, and having seen the Spider-Man animated series, Higher Evolutionary, I believe, showed up at a certain point. So you get this really cool version of the character. Now, accessory-wise, he doesn't really come with anything. He looks like a deep red here. He's more of a pinkish purple in person. He's got the fin on the top of his head. So there's a lot of new tooling for a character like this, between the head, the chest piece here with all the rivets on it, all the rivets on the lower piece. I think they've reused some of the other parts though. And he comes with 2 extra hands. So he goes from punching people to, those are a little more difficult, to magically wanding them away with his hands of wonder, his magic hands. So you get kind of like the hands out, like the open hands. So it's nice. It's a nice addition to the world of Fantastic Four, kind of expanding that universe. Typically they stick to the 4, right? And we get a couple characters here or there. We get a Doom, we get She-Hulk sometimes, but for the most part it sticks. Every time a Fantastic Four wave comes out, we get the Fantastic Four, and so it kind of is nice to kind of expand past them and opening up the door on these classic cards to continue the classic look. I know one character particularly that everybody's clamoring for them to do an update for, Dragon Man. The secondary market for him is huge. You can get knockoffs, but they're not the same, and I think they just want to continue doing that. So we get one, but then we get one with really unique tooling throughout the whole figure. And so while they reuse parts for the 4, of course, these 2 characters got a lot of unique tooling, and he's got his little box of fear, doubt, and hate. This is one of the things that Dwight showed off a long time ago as a possible figure. And so we get Psychoman. And highly intelligent Psychoman uses advanced technology to manipulate emotions and threaten the Fantastic Four. So I like the idea that we get a lot of unique tooling, and they did some really cool things where we wouldn't normally see that kind of parts on a figure. So while, the head is really part of the whole torso, so he can turn his head left and right, but as far as like up and down, you don't really get a lot of motion because it's a whole collar piece that kind of drops down into the chest a little bit to kind of give it that look. He's been various sizes throughout time in the comics, so he is about the same size as if not a little shorter than your average Marvel Legend. He's a very like stocky looking figure. No alternate hands, no alternate faces or heads. Very, very solo here, but just this one extra piece here. This one, his book that he can hold. It does limit his posing a little bit, but it does look good him holding it there. But I think one of the coolest things is all the tubing that they wrapped around. So these are independent pieces that are actually attached to the figure. So, the feet are all caged in. He's got these loops around different parts. There's another loop that kind of tucks into the upper thigh, but not messing with the thigh cut. So you still have that rotation there without kind of sacrificing that articulation point. So I think overall, these two, in addition to the rest of the wave, like really, these are the stars of the wave, to be honest with you. It's nice to have newer versions of the Fantastic Four, different costumes, but adding to your Marvel Legends villains, Fantastic Four, Avengers, getting these characters in there is something that's really, really exciting. And I think that's where we are. Like, I love a Puppet Master. I love a Doombot, Dragon Man. We're getting a Galactus. But I'd like to continue to see that idea, the cosmic world that the Fantastic Four brings. And I'm sure eventually when we get a Fantastic Four movie, the floodgates will open and we'll get a lot more Fantastic Four figures. But this is a nice way to get those in. And if you go through and look at the old Fantastic Four cartoon and the old Fantastic Four toy line from Toy Biz, I think you're going to see a lot of opportunity for them to use this packaging and give us updated figures for that. So you can check out a full gallery of these guys up on castorscorner.com. Follow us. We are at Castors Corner on all social media. You can check out the Cornercast podcast up on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to this. We really appreciate it. As we say every night, Jaxie, we love you. We miss you. And we wish you were here. And for those of you coming back, we're going to have more toys. We got a ton of toys. We got to finish the Fantastic Four. We're kicking off with these two. So we'll see you tomorrow night for another toy of the day here on castorscorner.com. Have a good night, everybody.